Hello and welcome to the B60 Top 4 show. Today we've got Mike joining the show. Obviously 2-2 draw with Spurs on the weekend. What do you think of the game?
What do I think of the game? Yeah, I think um, it's a weird one. It finished 2-2, but it wasn't the most entertaining game, to be fair. Um, for that first half, we probably deserve to go ahead in the first half. I think we had a bit more of the ball. Spurs were looking shaky. Obviously, they don't really have the best home records in the Premier League. Um, I think they've only won one game in Premier League this season, which is really, really bad. So obviously, we're in November now, innit? So but yeah, I think first half was decent enough. I think yeah, good goal from Bremo, should I say? Um, I think obviously that's what we're signing for him, Cunha. Ahmed played further up this game, so again, yeah, I think he had a good game. The second half, obviously, circumstances happened. I didn't actually watch the second half, to be fair, but I've seen the highlights. I know that at a certain point it went down to 10 men with Sesko coming off. He did have a good opportunity. I think Maguire had to come off, Casemiro had to come off. And then obviously, yeah, when them two Maguire and Casemiro come off, two experienced members and come off the pitch, um, it's obviously gonna be tough in it. And obviously, I'm hearing Ugarte didn't have the best of games. He's not really been good for a minute now. I think he was a poor signing, if I'm very honest. Very, very poor signing that was. So yeah, I mean, the United of today would take a point, especially being 2-1 down. Obviously, we won it up, so would have loved the win. But to get a last minute goal, to get 2-2, at least we're still unbeaten going into the international break, which normally we'll be talking about sacking managers at the minute. But it's just a case of being consistent. Obviously, last two games we've gone down to 2-1 and we've managed to get a draw. Um, Obviously, like I said, United of today will take that. United on the Fergie or whatever. These games should be winning, but it's not the United of today, unfortunately. So take the draw. Top four's up for grabs, in my opinion. Liverpool looking shaky. Yeah, they might do the thing, but looking shaky. Chelsea looking shaky. There's no like apart from Arsenal City. There's no consistent team this season in the Premier League. It seems so. It's up for grabs. This is whether we're good enough to get there. Really, with Europa League football. I won't say I expect top four, but I definitely expect top 5, 6. That's if we don't do that, Ami's got to go. Because obviously we play one game a week. Do you know what I mean? So um, that should be the expectation. So yeah, but in the grand scheme of things, so, and a point away from home against Tottenham is decent with the form that we're in, the form that Tottenham's in. Bit disappointing not to get a win, but yeah, that's where we're at the minute.
Yeah, I think to be fair, I kind of agree with you. I think yeah, there's a lot of teams that aren't looking solid at the minute. So I think you're well within your rights to try and go for top 4 this season. I think Spurs as well. They're a Norwich team that they haven't got a great home for. So I can see why you're disappointed. I think they've only won like 3 games at home in the league in 2025. So not a great record. Obviously, I think it's one of those ones that I thought it's probably a good point in the end, just for the fact that you went 2-1 down and you snatched it at the end. So at least you didn't come away with nothing. But yeah, I think I'll move on to the Arsenal Sunderland game. In all fairness, bro, to be fair, Sunderland played very well. I think if they play like that, they'll frustrate a lot of teams at the stadium like this season. Yeah, I think I don't know, they just seemed like they wanted it a bit more. I think they were winning the duels. To be fair, we were awful in the first half. Weren't good enough. I think. Don't know. We've been starting a lot of games this season. A bit of a pattern where we start quite slow in the first half and we pick it up in the second half. And we've been a bit of a second half team, but. Um, I think the first goal, Dan Ballard, he's actually like an ex-academy player. I think he left the club when he was about 21 to go to the championship, but he outmuscles Declan Rice the first goal, gets the first goal. And then I think we picked it up more so in the second half. I think we only really created one decent chance, just as like Saliba as a volley that he couldn't quite get his knee over. and ended up like skying that over the bar. But second half, I think to be fair, second half, I think some of the best football we played, at least attacking wise, in a long time. I think Trossard was really, really good. He had a great game. Looked like he was going to create a lot with his passing, and then obviously his goal. Really, really good finish as a rocket strike, to be fair. Saka as well, great finish. But I think it was frustrating because that one goal lead's always dangerous. And I think we had enough chances to score probably three or four. But even when they got the equaliser in the 93rd minute, like we went straight up the other end of the pitch, and then Calafiori has a header from not too far out. I think it just managed to head it straight at a roof, just saved it with his midriff, and then it's Dan Ballard again, to be fair, came toward us and got the block in from Moreno from about 2 or 3 yards out. So to be fair to them, they did work hard. They probably deserved a draw on balance. I think our second, I suppose if anyone's going to win it, I think our second half performance, like I think we did enough probably to create enough chances to win the game. But even their second goal as well, the equalisers, it was him again. He was jumping up with two Arsenal players. He won the header, won the flick on. And then Gabriel's a bit slow. He got beaten to it by Brian Brobby. And then obviously Raya came off his line. But I think there's some arguments say maybe he should have stayed in net and it probably would have been an easy save. But in all fairness, I think Gabriel's got to do a lot better with the second ball.
Mm.
It shouldn't even be getting to that. We should be winning the first ball. If you've got two man on one set, on one player, I know he's a big lad, he's a bit of a unit, but got to do better. And it's disappointing because both goals came from not defending our box well. Um, I suppose the first goal was a bit more of again, but it's Rice getting out dueled by Ballard, and then he got to the ball first, got the goal. So yeah, something that we've been good at this season, and I think. In all fairness, the two goals they scored, we're probably the most adept team in the league at dealing with that, like defending our boxes, defending set pieces. Obviously, we score quite a few goals set pieces. So I think if Sunderland had done that to us, they probably will frustrate a lot of teams this season. I think they're looking to frustrate us, to be fair. I think anytime an Arsenal player got near them, they were just throwing themselves to the floor, they were getting free kicks. I think apparently to the point where they moved the advertising boards right by the pitch so he couldn't throw in long balls, stuff like that. Like he looks really weak ball, like the
I
advertising,
hear it. I hear it.
they're
Home
too
team,
big at the
innit?
back. But yeah, I rate it to be fair. You got to maximize your home advantage, do what you got to do to win to get a point. So I think they'll do all right this season. I don't think they'll stay up there. But. Maybe outside chance, maybe Conference League, Europa League or something. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I probably expect them to fall off, probably finish mid-table, but they made some pretty good signings, and
Yeah.
even in that second half, like they brought on like they made three attacking changes, changed the whole front line. They brought on quality, they brought on Robbie, Talby, so they've got options to be fair to them. Um, and yeah, I think they'll have a decent season this year.
Yeah, I
Obviously.
think that Xhaka signing was big. Xhaka signing was big.
Yeah, I think he's a leader, to be honest. I know he had a bit of went and got a bit of criticism at Arsenal. And yeah, he had that bit of a breakdown relationship with the fans where, obviously he reacted quite angrily to getting booed by it. But obviously I think he won the heart of the fans after Arteta convinced him to stay. And I think obviously he's been an invincible in Germany with Leverkusen. He's come back, and I think he's a real leader of men, bro. So I think he's probably a player that a lot of his teammates want to go into battle with him. And yeah, I think he's been a really, really good sign. I think might be low key signing of the season. Um,
Mm.
just for the stature of player he is and the club he's gone to, I think. Yeah, I think it could be a great, great bit of business. But yeah, I think it's obviously disappointing. Obviously, usually we've been winning our games, so I've been quite relaxed about the other teams. I kind of tried to focus mainly just on Arsenal this season, but obviously with us dropping points, I took more interest and watched the Liverpool City game. And obviously it was disappointing that the City got the win, to be fair, because I think the gap's closed now, points now. But having said that, I think if you told me after 11 games it'd be 4 points clear of City and 7 points clear of Liverpool, I would have taken out at the start of the season. So I can't complain too much. It's been a bad result, but we won 10 on the bout, so I can't really complain. And I think the telling thing was our bench. Like we've got a sort of stacked defense, so we had like Nkapie. Mosquera, Ben White on the bench. But then if you look offensively, you had no one. We had which teenagers really? It was Harriman and News, Dalman, Wanyeri. So in that magnitude of away game, I don't think. I didn't think Arteta would bring them on, to be fair. I think one of the only changes he made, I think he just brought in Mosquera and tried to go to a back five at the end. And I think that might have cost us because our line then became too deep. Like we were right in the middle of the box. I think we needed to push out more. Um, and I think if we did that, then I don't think Bobby probably is in that position to get the goal. So few things to learn, but overall, I think some of them probably deserve the point, and I can't complain too much.
Yeah, they're a decent team, man. I feel like they're matched to you physically
Yeah,
and fitness wise. I feel like obviously you guys are a very physical team. Obviously, you're very you obviously got good ball players, obviously on the ball as well. That's what separates you from the likes of Sunderland's and the other teams in the league, essentially, because you got both. So I feel like because they matched that your physicality side of the game, obviously dealt with the set pieces and everything. So that's the best way to stop Arsenal, if I'm honest. Obviously, you guys got injuries at the minute, so it's not helping. Um, so like obviously you touched on your squad depth, so you don't really have that at the minute. So obviously once you get the players back, I'm sure it'll be sweet. Obviously, that win every game Premier League's hard, especially away from home. Do you know what I mean? If it was a home game, I'd say, yo, that's a shocking result. Being away, obviously Tottenham, not Tottenham, Sunderland being the team they are at the minute. It's not they beat Chelsea, didn't they? Obviously we beat them, but they're a decent team. I think they'll a lot of teams will struggle against them with money. So it's not the best of points because it is a promoted side.
yeah.
But I think from the end of the season, I think it'll be seen as a decent enough point.
Yeah, I think it's more disappointing with the fact that obviously we came back and led the game. So to concede so late was
Yeah.
like fourth minute. It's obviously always disappointing. But I get what I mean. I think that point after they drew was to come to third in the league. So they've been doing all right. Obviously beat Chelsea. And I know you guys beat them 2-0 as well. So they've had a bit of mixed results against big teams. But I think at home they've been unbeaten. So they're not too bad of a side.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but I think. Yeah, obviously disappointing because I think it just gives City that sniff now. I think when they get that, they're quite dangerous to hunt us down. I know a few Arsenal fans probably got PTSD from two of the last seasons
Hmm?
we've been ahead and they've hunted us down. So yeah, we'll have to see. I think hopefully it's just one little blip result and then we can come back after the international break with a lot of the players. I think got six of our offensive line now. I think Martinelli, obviously Gyökeres, Havertz. Jesus, Odegaard, Madueke. It's a lot to be fair, to deal with like all in that attacking area of the pitch. So I think majority of them should be back after the international break. I think Jesus might be December just because obviously it's a long-term injury. He's back training, but I think it'll probably take him a couple of weeks to get his fitness back up. But hopefully we can have all them players back and then have that squad depth. And when it comes to it, we can have those options off the bench. Yeah, but I'll move on to hot or not. Hot or not for the United Spurs game, right?
Um, I'll say Ahmed. Ahmed. I feel like obviously he's been playing right wing back recently. Obviously, he got told to play a bit further up in this game, and yeah, I think overall had a very good game. I feel like it was dangerous. He was working hard. Obviously, he made the goal in Bremer's goal. So I think he kept the ball well enough as well. So sustaining attacks. When we go attack, you be able to obviously keep the ball and obviously keep the possession essentially. So yeah, I think he had a good game, especially as being asked to play in a different position as to what he has done in the previous games. Not not who would I go for? Um, Probably go for yeah. I'll probably say Ngate. Um, Obviously coming on for Casemiro. Yeah, it's just not. It just seems like it's not good enough. It's the reason why we're getting two midfielders. Well, we need two midfielders in the summer. If anything, I'm shipping him off, keeping Casemiro for another year, maybe on a lower wage if he doesn't accept it, and then getting two midfielders because I think Casemiro will be good for the experience and just there to see out games and stuff like that. Plus, he's still better than Ngati. He might be 10 years older, but still better than him. So, yeah, I'll go for Ngati for not.
Yeah, I think it's probably a good call to be fair. I speak to one of my friends who's United season ticket holder, and he says as long as you can get 60 minutes a game like Casemiro, he was doing his job. And I think until you can bring in those new players at centre mid, I think yeah, he could probably do worse. He's got that experience, he's got that winning pedigree. So he seems like he stepped up this season. So yeah, it's a good shout. Hot or not for Arsenal, I think hot, I'm gonna give it Leandro Trossard. I think he's a standout player. I think he's the only person who really tried to make things happen and was on it in the first half as well. I think in the first half he was getting doubled up on a bit, so he struggled. But second half he was creating things, trying to make things happen. Obviously, he scored a great goal. I think Zubimendi played well, but in all fairness, I think he hit the bar from a volley, and then he had another chance that's a lot easier, and he ended up like taking on his left foot and just scuffed it wide. It's probably harder to put it wide the post. So that was a glaring chance. I think that was one that we really should have scored. Obviously, probably would have got us 3 points, but um, I'd say not. It's difficult. To be fair, Rice didn't have that bad of a game, but obviously he got out-muscled for Ballard's first goal. And in all fairness, I think he looked a bit tired. Like he was still trying to sprint and work his arse off at the end of the game, but like you could see him blow him like in added time. He was still sprinting, but I think yeah, he looks like someone who needs a rest. I think a lot of the players needed a bit of a break. And I think midweek when we played Slavia Prague he played like quite a strong back line. He still played Timber, Saliba, Gabriel. He brought in Capie at left back, but I think he probably should have made a few more changes. I think Ben White should have come in, maybe even Mosquera, because I think the back line they looked a bit tired as well, especially those three that played. So yeah, I think I'd probably not. I'd probably give it to Gabriel though, just because again, um, not directly, but kind of had a hand in the first goal, and then obviously you got beaten to it by Robbie for the second one. So a bit harsh because he's probably been one of our best players this season, if not the best player. So probably have to give it to Gabriel. Uh, but I thought we'd move on to talking about the title race. Obviously, City with a massive 3-0 win. To be honest, I think Pep kind of took slot to score in that game tactically. And what do you think of the game, Mike?
Yeah, I think it's dangerous for you, man, if I'm honest. Because it feels like Pep and City have got their mojo back.
Yeah.
I think last year, obviously, you've seen Pep's head, like, he was scratching himself, he's going through divorce with his girl. I think they're back together now. It seems like Foden is playing his best football. Obviously, Haaland's probably the best player in the world at the minute. Haaland's scoring every game. Doku seems to be like doing the madness as well. Obviously, new signings, Turkey is obviously settling well, better than Verts. If you're comparing the two, both pretty similar. And even defense, I feel like obviously they're not as strong as yours, but Nunes not a right back, but he does his job. Diaz, Gavaho, and the left back Nico O'Reilly obviously got his call up to England, and he's solid. Obviously they got the new keeper as well. So we've got a solid base. Even if Rodri's injured or not at his best, should I say? They've got Nico Gonzalez who's stepping up to play as well. So unless Haaland does get like a big injury, and then that's when you may question it. Obviously, players got to step up then if he does. But they're still playing catch up to you, man. But I feel like, yeah, it's with City, especially if they're playing at the best, you can't really be dropping points against the likes of Southern away. It's kind of like, especially, Pep, he's got 100 points before, he's got 98 points. Like, this City team could be capable of winning every single game. Maybe not the old City, but we know what Pep and City are capable of. Do you know what I'm saying? So, you rather have Liverpool, in my opinion, rather have Liverpool. You'd rather be 4 points ahead of Liverpool rather than City, just because of Pep, because he's just a madman. Like, he's one of the greatest managers in the world. Liverpool kind of got lucky, but there wasn't really a big threat last season, which was surprising. So now it's a true test for Slot because this is his team, this is his tactics and whatever. So that's why I feel like Liverpool not going to be too much of a threat this season, and City are going to be main threats. And yeah, I mean, I've still got Arsenal down as well. I think I have Liverpool down as my favourites. Second favourites. If I was to say it now, I just feel like because Arsenal not done it yet, it's hard for me to speak confidently say that Arsenal.
Mm.
Pep's done it. Harden's done it. I feel like they've got winners there. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's Arsenal win a game. It's look at this. Everyone's celebrating, dancing. It's like that. The fans are just a bit cringy too. You know what I mean? You know my cousins like Sam. It's hella cringy, bro. Saying you're gonna win Champions League and this and that. But City just get the job done, and obviously they've done it before, innit? So I'm gonna say Arsenal just because yeah, you man should have more motivation than Pep and everyone. You can't finish second 4 years in a row. Like, what's the point? Do you know what I'm saying? There's literally no point. If you finish second again, if I was a fan, I wouldn't even be supporting him because yeah, that's my take on it anyway.
Um, no, I agree with a lot of your points. To be fair, I think yeah, Pep, yeah, he's tactically really good. I think to be fair, Slot, I can see what he was trying to do. He kind of set up with that midfield three he had last season, but he made them really compact in the pitch, and I think he didn't want players like Bernardo Silva, Foden, Shirky, to be able to play on the half turn, getting those little half spaces. But um, yeah, I think Pep just said, "Well, we'll just play the ball to Doku and do you out wide," and that's exactly what they did. To be fair.
Yeah,
Doku like probably had one of the best like wingers games I've seen in a while. Just quality wing play from him the whole game. Yeah, to be honest, I don't think Conor Bradley even did that badly, bro. I think he just played that well.
yeah,
He did the job. Even like the the penalty as well. I think Conor Bradley's kind of got him where he wants him. He's ahead of him, and then like Konate obviously comes across and then rebounds the ball off him, and then obviously get the penalty. I know they saved it, but um, I feel like yeah, Liverpool got a lot of problems. I don't think it's just one or two issues. I don't think they even know what their best verse 11 is, to be honest. I think he tried to play Verts on the left because he can't play midfield because then they're too open and they see too many chances. And I don't think that really worked. I think he kind of struggled. Um, I think they should have just played Gakpo, to be honest. I think, in all fairness, bar Ekitike, a lot of the signings haven't really worked this season, which is surprising because going into it, like you, I had Liverpool's favourites just because, obviously they spent nearly $500 million and broke the British transfer record twice. So on paper, the signings look like, it'd be a massive upgrade to Liverpool, but it just hasn't quite worked out. I don't know if they just need time to click. Maybe it's something that'll come together next season. I don't know, but yeah, they've got a lot of problems at the minute. They look shaky at the back. Um, in all fairness to him, they maybe should have got back into the game a little bit in that first half. I know the rules say it's offside, but I think that Van Dijk header probably should have stood.
yeah. I agree.
Because Robertson, he's ducked out the way. He's not interfering with Donnarumma's side of the ball or anything like that. So I don't see why it isn't a perfectly decent goal. But the rules, I guess, if he's in within a meter of the keeper, then it has to be given as offside. But yeah, I don't know. I don't see Liverpool as I think they're kind of out of the title race now. Well, at least for now. I mean, they may go put a run together and we can reevaluate the situation later on in the season because it's still early. But I think they've got similar points to United. I can't really see like Chelsea, United. You wouldn't class those teams as probably being in the title race. I think they're well in the race for top four, but I think Liverpool probably in that category now, where they're probably a team chasing Champions League. I think unless something clicks and they put a run together, I can't see them in it. But I agree with what you're saying. Like as soon as you give City a sniff, it's dangerous. They've done it to us before where I think they put like 17, 18 wins together on the bounce to win the league one year. They're that team. I think we've had it as well where we were 4 points clear with 2 games left in the league and we still didn't win it against them. So um, yeah, it's worrying. But I do kind of feel like we're a better team than we were previously when we've challenged the title. Just defensively, I know obviously we conceded two, which is surprising, but um, yeah, we're not conceding goals at the minute. And we've played games where we haven't played that well and we're still getting results. So I'm hoping that holds us in good stead. Because to be honest, I think if Arsenal do finish second for me, I don't know where you go from it. I can't say they haven't addressed any of the squad depth issues in the summer. all the problem areas we wanted players replacing, they've done it. And then even in Capia, I didn't really see that sign happening. Obviously, Kivio left, they brought him in, so they've even upgraded on some of the backup centre backs. So you can't really complain about the squad. The club have backed him. I think Berta had a big hand in that. I actually think before we signed Eze and Capia as our last two signings, but before that, the board actually considered their transfer business done. It was actually Berta that pushed for them two signings. So we got them over the line. But yeah, I don't really know where you go from there, really. Because it's one of those ones, I think you finish second in the league again. Do you sack Arteta? I don't personally think the board will. Um, and to be honest, I don't really know who's like obvious to get out of there. It's going to be an upgrade on him, to be honest. Because there's no guarantee we bring a new manager and we get better. We can get worse. It's happened before, so.
Yeah,
But I agree. I do think he needs to win this season. He needs to win something big. He needs to win either the Prem or Champions League. I don't think a League Cup or an FA Cup will cut it. I think it's got to be a major honour, which is obviously a lot easier said than done. They're probably the two hardest trophies to win in club football. But yeah, I think yeah, City. I think you haven't really heard Pep talking too much about a title, but I think he said on the weekend that they showed that they're capable of being Premier League title challengers. And I think that they're getting that bit of belief back. I think they
yeah,
mentality shift. They believe they're in the title race now. I'm sure they probably all thought that as well, but I think there's a real confidence about them now. So hopefully, it's a bit worried as well because we've got a tough run of games after the international break. I think we've got Spurs, North London Derby, we've got Bayern Munich in the Champions League, then we've got Chelsea. So it isn't the easiest starts. After the international break. Hopefully, with our players back, we can get some good results. And I'm kind of looking forward to that Bayern game. I think, to be honest, they're probably the most, or maybe us and a few others, they're probably the most informed team in Europe at the minute. I think they drew on the weekend, but before that, they'd won every single game this season. So
yeah.
the Harry Kane's,
Solid team.
yeah, Harry Kane's banging form. I don't know if you saw the goal that Diaz scored on the weekend, but that's quite a goal as well. So they've got plenty of attacking.
Yeah, the one
He's
when he slid, he got it in that angle.
Yeah, that was crazy angle to finish it from as well.
Crazy.
Yeah, I think it'll be good just as like almost like a testing block. I think if we come through that game and we can win, then I think we can probably be serious about maybe have another deep one in the Champions League and see if we can potentially win it. But um, I don't know. I still think we're favourites just because of that 4 point gap, but I don't think it's as comfortable as it was. Obviously before this weekend, I think yeah, City are a lot closer in it now. So I'd say Arsenal and then City close second favourites. I think Liverpool, I'd count them out for now. I don't really see any other title challengers. I know like teams like Bournemouth and Sunderland and stuff like that have done well. Obviously Chelsea up there, but I don't really see them guys challenging for a title. With United,
No, no.
don't see that either. So um, I thought we'll move on to the lower end of the table. Obviously Wolves having a bit of a dismal season this year, but they brought in Rob Edwards, like the former Luton manager. I know he just left Middlesbrough to join them as their new coach. Do you think he'll have a shot at keeping them up?
I know that obviously it was doing decent at Middlesbrough, and obviously Middlesbrough fans ain't too happy about it.
Mm.
Um, I think it's a bit of a big risk for him, but then obviously Wolves are a good side, Premier League side, so of course he's gonna want to take that risk. Do I think he'll do good? I don't know if I'm honest. I don't know. It's hard to say because obviously he did get Luton to Premier League, but didn't stay up there. So obviously the quality in terms of players is a lot. There's a lot more quality with Wolves.
Mm.
They do have a decent team. I mean, they obviously it's still November, so they can stay up. I think it's just whether the players will buy into him. But yeah, that comes from manager, to be honest. So with January window coming up, so I'm guessing it might give him a few funds to invest into the squad, and it's gonna be interesting to see if he keeps the same formation that Wolves normally play with a 5-3-2 or 4-3-4, you want to call it, whatever, or if he's going to change it completely into what he wants. So that'll be interesting. But Premier League's not easy. It's not easy this season. So I think for Wolves to get a Championship manager, which that's what he is,
Mm.
into the Prem, very very risky. Obviously, I can't remember what managers out there, but obviously they missed out on Sondage recently and Nuno. Them two managers, they're Premier League proven, Premier League quality. So you think, I think both of them in the bottom three at the minute. You'd think that both of them would get out of there, which would probably drop Burnley and Leeds down with Wolves. Um, I think they'll still go down personally. I think Wolves, Burnley, Leeds, in whatever order. But I think them three will go down because not only just because of the managers, I think the players, the quality, is a lot more qualities than other teams.
Yeah,
But having the managers is on direction, that elevates the team more than Rob Edwards in my no offense.
yeah, no, I agree. I think he's had success in the championship, but it hasn't really translated to the Prem. So I agree. I think it's a risky appointment. I mean, the way they're playing, it can't really get much worse. So hopefully they will have some improvement, maybe a bit of a new manager bounce. But you've seen West Ham have picked up a couple of wins recently. Forest obviously winning on the weekend as well. Um, Leeds are a funny one. I think they're a team that I thought they did all right at the start of the season. So I thought maybe they might have enough about them to stay up, but obviously, yeah, losing to relegation with Alvin Forest 3-1 is a bit telling on the weekend. And so, yeah, I don't know. Part of me feels like I don't know whether they're almost too far behind as well. I mean, Wolves ain't won a league game this season. It's 11 games in.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if they've got enough. I think they've got a few. I agree. They've got a few good players. They've got some quality, but I just feel like I don't know that Cunha was a big reason why they stayed up this season. I don't think they've really replaced him. I know they kept Strand Larson in, but I feel like they probably need another number 10, or they need a bit of an attacking spot to start scoring goals, and then they probably could do with a few players at the back as well. I think Andre and João Gomez, I think they've got quite a few good options at the centre of the park. But yeah, I think they definitely probably need to upgrade, get an attacking player in there, probably another centre back as well. Because yeah, I think that they're leaking way too many goals. And I think if you can get them, I don't know if it's really a style, but if you make them a bit more difficult to beat, they'll probably have a few chances of you picking up the odd points here and there. But then I kind of feel like the writing's on the wall with them. I don't think it's a great atmosphere at the club either. You had the fans like clashing with players. Seems a bit
yeah.
in a minute. It's a shame because Wolves they've obviously had some great players in recent times. Obviously Jota and Ruben Neves. They've had some quality like in and out that door. So yeah, it's a shame that they kind of established themselves as a Premier League club, but yeah, it looks like they're probably heading for the exit. I think he did all right at Luton, but I don't really see. Yeah, Wolves staying up. I think it's too big of a risk. I think he'd probably be a good manager for them if they did get relegated. But I mean, if they get relegated, I doubt it'll still be in
Well,
his job.
maybe that's what they're thinking about. They're thinking long term. Thinking, okay, if we drop down to Championship, at least he can probably bring us back up, and they might sack him
I, don't,
by the time he comes. You know what I mean?
I see the thought process behind it, but I think it's far too early to give up on staying up already. We're only 11 games in.
Yeah, you got to think as a if you're owner of a business, you got to think worst case scenario as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I do get it. Obviously, ideally, you want to be staying in the Premier League. To be fair, so again, that falls on the owners taking the risk of hiring a Championship manager over, a more of established manager. Do you know what I mean? Um, but obviously, Pierre, or something like that, he was more of an established manager, and he wasn't doing the job. Obviously, no wins, like shocking. But yeah, it did help with obviously selling Cunha and what's his name, left back as well. So
Yeah, because it's strange. I think he only signed a new contract like 4 or 5 weeks ago, before they sacked him.
yeah,
Because in fact, I thought he did a right job for them last season, kept them up. But yeah, I just think there's a bit of lack of ambition at Wolves. I think obviously they sold Cunha, sold Eight Nori, Semedo left. I think they brought decent money in for Cunha and Eight Nori, so I think they probably could have done with reinvesting a bit better and maybe um, showing a bit more ambition, but I think they've come big paying the price for it this season. But on that, I'll end this week's show. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and we'll catch you again next week.